All right, Virgo, so we're going to jump right into this. This week from Lay Vampire, you pulled free will, sovereignty, independence, and free spirit. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled perfection. Now, I know you guys have heard me read from these books so many times just so that I make sure that the messages are clear, but I'm just going to give you what I'm feeling based on this. Now, free will from Lay Vampire. This card has always talked about reminding yourself of your own dreams and desires and activating your ability to say yes and no without guilt so that you can act on your free will. But when you look at that with perfection, there's two things going on there for me. It's either you're being too hard on yourself because you're now setting some high standards, not just for the people that are around you, but for yourself as well. Or you're realizing here that you are perfect just the way you are. The only reason why I worry about being too hard on yourself is because of where the inspiration says, are you being too hard on yourself and consequently on others? Here's the thing. If you're going to set high standards for yourself, that is great. And it's okay to seek perfection, but you don't want to push it to a point here where you're being too hard on yourself or others, obviously. But the other thing too is that when you do that, you have a tendency to alienate other people when you start, really acting on those high standards. But again, free will is saying that, you have the ability to change whatever it is that you don't like. Whether it's you're changing the people that are around you and setting some higher standards, or you're changing things that are going on with you internally. Either way, perfection is good. It's just, you got to be careful. You got to be careful about how you're treating other people. And you have to be careful about how you're treating yourself as well. But overall, Virgo, I don't think it's a bad energy at all. Just, be careful with that. All right, Virgo, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. Okay, so I had to take a breath on this one just because I don't know why I have a weird feeling around this. So looking at the Page of Cups as your signifier, this is where your main focus is, or, the main issue is going to be for the week, right? When you're looking at the Page of Cups, you're looking at messages of love, new emotional experiences, something new in love. It could be you giving these messages, it could be you receiving them, or this is a need for you to express the way that you're feeling, especially if you're feeling something new. But overall, it's a great energy, but I'm just like, okay, where is this coming from? Oh shit, Virgo, look at that. Wow. So in the past, the Ace of Cups, definitely new, right? But the Ace of Cups is good. It's really good. That to me is the past coming through, is saying that for some of you, again, you may have received some loving messages, and this may be a new beginning for you within a relationship. And emotionally, it looks fantastic. The other thing that I love about the Ace of Cups too is it's not just about those new emotional experiences that are really good. It's also about, that deep connection with spirit as well. But when you're looking at the Page of Cups, yeah, love, which is good, really good. Oh, wow. What's up with the cups, guys? Shit. The Three of Cups. Now, here's the thing. When you're looking at the Three of Cups, first of all, for me, it has to do with your support system, the people that are around you that actually give a shit about you and want to celebrate your accomplishments with you. These are your friends. So for some of you, this may be a situation where, if you're in a relationship, it looks fantastic. And it's like one of those things where, I feel like there's bonding happening there with the Three of Cups, and it may be helping you in terms of relationships, whether you're in a relationship or you're looking to start a new one. Now, for those of you who are starting a new one, this could be like your friends coming through to tell you about, hey, well, so-and-so feels this way about you, or they're relaying the message for you. But it's good. It feels good. Future conditions. Wow. I kind of had a feeling, because when you're looking at free will and you're looking at perfection, this to me is saying that for Virgo, especially the single Virgos, you're not willing to settle for any more bullshit, right? And I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles showing up as future conditions, that first of all, I think for some of you, you're already comfortable where you're at. You know, I see this as the person who does not need help from anybody else, right? They are self-reliant. They're able to create their own security and stability. And, you know, you look comfortable, you look good, right? And financially, it looks great. And I have to wonder here if, you know, you're having this going on, and there may be this like chattering going on about new things happening with love and emotions and da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, I don't know about all that, right? It's not bad. I mean, you know, we'll have to see what happens here, but it almost feels like you're like, but why? You know, because I'm good. Like, I'm good where I'm at, you know? And then the other thing too is if you have people who are like trying to give you their opinion as far as, you know, what you should do in terms of like a relationship, you're like, yeah, you know what? Again, free will, acting on your free will. I'm going to do what I know is right for me. Either way, I don't see any of it as bad energy. It's just for some reason, I feel like Virgo is like, I'm me right now. And I'm good with just me. You know, that to me is almost like where your happiness is. But then you have this stuff going on where people are like, da 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 da, you know. Oh, your best path to follow. Here's the thing. If what you're hearing, you know, and again, I don't feel like these people are purposely like trying to deceive you or like, you know, I mean, we'll see. We shall see. But, you know, I'm feeling intuitively that this isn't a bad thing. It's just that for you, looking at the Six of Swords as your best path to follow, there is conflict that you need to move away from. It's like, excuse me, guys. It's like when you're looking at the Six of Swords coming out of the Five of Swords, it's like you realize that that's done with. You're not wanting anything to do with that anymore, right? The bullshit arguments, the ego-driven nonsense that there's just no truth there, you know. And you get to this point where mentally you understand that it's time to move away from that. And it could actually be like physically moving as well. Now, in terms of like conflicting, you know, messages, you're not doing that. I mean, between the two, absolutely, you're not doing that. You're done with that and you're moving away from it. That, or, you know, you haven't quite done it yet. And here Spirit is trying to say, hey, look, if you've got people that are giving you conflicting messages in regards to this new situation here, it's time to get away from that because you don't need to be hearing all that nonsense. Oh, look at it. Yes. In your environment, the sun, good. It's good. Good. Yeah, you know, and again, because these two are connected for me, I don't feel like these people are purposely trying to deceive you in any way. I just think that there are things that may be conflicting for what you actually want. Because, you know, this is like the connection, right? The soulful connection, the emotional connection, you know, especially if you're getting messages from somebody else. Now, for some of you, you just may be getting a deeper connection with yourself. But if it has to do with another person, you're like, I'm good. Like, I'm good, right? It's almost like there's a feeling of, you know, if you have this new experience happening, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Nothing serious is riding on this. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, you're cool. You're good. Like, you don't have to worry about nothing. Seeing the sun in your environment is just saying that, you know, for some of you, this whole situation is like, you know, being brought into the light of the sun. And it feels good. It feels great in terms of you. It's a beautiful reading, Virgo. I don't feel anything bad here at all. I just think that a lot of you are like cool with yourselves right now. Like, you know, whatever happens, happens. It's like this easygoing feeling. But then at the same time, Spirit is saying, hey, look, you know, if you're dealing with things that are conflicting for you, don't deal with that. Move on from that. But again, I don't feel like anybody's intentionally trying to, you know, cause any issues. Your hopes and your fears, yeah, you're not. And again, it just feels like you're fine. Like, this is great that it's here, but it's not something that you need to immediately act on or make any decisions about. The Hangman is basically saying that right now, you're just kind of like in that limbo, needing to see the whole situation first before you make any kind of like move. You're not making any quick decisions here. You're not doing anything rash as far as action goes. And when you're looking at it this way, again, people who, are not trying to harm you are like relaying messages to you that may have to do with something new emotional experience coming through that looks really good. It's just that you are okay. It's like, that's great, but I don't really need it. But if it works out, that's great too. And the Hangman, you're just kind of like, you're hanging around, right? Waiting to see all of it first. It's one thing to get those messages from outside sources, but, to hear it from the horse's mouth, right? And you're just kind of waiting. Oh, and then the outcome. What the fuck? Oh, shit. All right, I'm going to pull a clarifier on this, but seeing the devil as the outcome? What? Okay, so here's the thing. There's two ways to look at this. For some of you, looking at the Hangman and your hopes and your fears could really be talking about you're tired of waiting around for something new to happen. And I'm just going to say this. For some of you, I think that you're getting your friends to relay messages because you're wanting something to happen. Now, that's only for some. For others of you, I think you're tired of waiting around to know for sure. Right? And then the devil is just saying that you're chaining yourself to, those like thoughts. And then not only that, but looking at it connected with the Nine of Pentacles. The other thing too is if you are more tied to earthly possessions and maybe blocking new good emotional things coming through. And it may be because, you've dealt with enough crap that you're like, no, I finally got to a point where I'm stable. Why do I want to invite something new in that I'm not really sure about? Again, because the Hangman, that, like I said, it's needing to hear it from the direct source rather than hearing the chatter of other people. And then the other part of it, though, too, is where is the temptation coming in? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, back to what I was saying before. Okay. You have got the Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords as the clarifier here. Now, for some of you, like I said, I feel like because you've been through some difficult situations and you finally gotten yourself out of it, it's like, why should I open up to this? But the question is here, with all this good, and I mean good stuff going on, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? But obviously here, it's because you've been through some shit. And, again, looking at this and connected with the Nine of Pentacles, it is a situation here where, with the devil, it's tied to, your security and stability, more concerned with the earthly possessions than you are with anything else. And it's because you felt some hardship. You're getting out of that now. Financially, you look good. You look comfortable on your own. And the Queen of Swords is like backing that up, because looking at the Six of Swords is your best path to follow. I'm telling you, that is you. That is you. The Queen of Swords for me represents the person who has been through a lot of difficult shit. And they come out of it and it changes the way that they act in future conditions. Because, again, she's been through some shit and she will kick your ass if you cross her. And I'm telling you, that's Virgo. I'm telling you, I know my mom was a Virgo. I've seen her do this, right? Like, don't fuck with me. I will kick your ass. She used to tell me over the phone, don't make me come up there and kick your ass. Now, on the other hand, for some of you, it may be a situation where you are dealing with an air sign who may be telling you bullshit, looking at the devil, but I still get that feeling of, my life's cool. Why the hell do I need to invite something else in? You know, so it's going to be one of those situations, Virgo, where, you know, when this opportunity like shows up and you've got people talking to you about it and running their mouths, it's going to be up to you to kind of hang out for a minute and see everything first before you make any decisions. But I really do think that the devil is talking about you being, you know, stuck in this way of being. You know, definitely the card represents temptation, but what I'm seeing here, I mean, you know, I'm not, with the sun being there, there's no way. I don't see you being tempted by anything, especially with the Nine of Pentacles being there. All right, Virgo, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what other messages there are, but I do feel like that Queen of Swords is you. Like, damn it, I've been through enough shit, and I got my shit together, and I'm good. Look at me, I'm fucking fantastic. Hell yeah. What do I need this for? You know? And that may be the conflicting thoughts that you need to get away from there with the Six of Swords. Possibly, but it's going to be up to you to judge that situation by allowing yourself to be in that kind of like hanging out stage here with the Hangman, right? It's almost like, you know, like I've always said when I've seen this card, it's like there's more to see. There's more for you to see first. You know, I don't want to say, because here's the thing. These readings, first of all, are not going to resonate with everybody. The other thing, too, is that with them being general messages, right, we have to say that these are for entertainment purposes only, because you don't want to go and make a decision because, you know, you've seen a tarot reader on YouTube and they told you to do this, this, and that, right? When it comes to bad energies, I'm going to tell you to stop it. When it comes to good things coming through, yes, you should open up to that. But because of free will sitting here, it is up to you. It is up to you. What the soul trees are saying here is when you start living from your heart, you will see the magic in life. And whatever hardships you've been through, resilience is fucking perfect to see. You can bounce back from anything that you've been through. And there may be a need here for you to detach yourself from the thinking that you don't need emotional experiences in your life. And it may be because, you know, you've been through difficult situations, right? But clearly you're bouncing back from it. It's just that I think there are things that you're hanging on to mentally that may be blocking these new experiences. But, you know, seeing live from your heart, you know, if it's there and it feels good, I'm not seeing anything here that is suggesting that it's going to be a really bad thing. You know, you're only in the meat suit for a temporary amount of time, right? You got to live. You got to experience things. And I don't see where, you know, your stability is going to be shaken up, because here's the thing. This is future conditions. This is the outcome, right? It would have been different if it would have been the Five of Pentacles. But when I look at clarifiers, you're looking at past energies that explain why that card is there. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. I was going to say, I had a feeling for some Virgos. If you're dealing with issues within a relationship, it's almost like I think some of you get to a point here where you're just like, it feels like you want to be on your own, right? But the thing is when you're looking at resilience, you know, it's saying that you can deal with whatever issues are going on within a relationship. And for some reason, it's important for you to work on that, right? But Virgo, what you have coming through is beautiful. It's just, I think that a lot of you are done dealing with bullshit. And I mean, when you're looking at the 9, it took a while to get to this point. Why would you want to mess that up? And that's understandable. But something here is saying that I think for some of you, you just need to be open to a new emotionally fulfilling experience. Virgo, so here's the thing. Even though, you know, for me, this has, I don't know, just looking at these three, for me, it has the feeling of people going, did you hear so-and-so said, you know what I mean? And it has to do with, you know, something coming through for you. The Ace of Cups is fucking fantastic. It's just, I think that a lot of you are like, yeah, you know what I mean? But the other thing too is, if this doesn't have to do with a love situation, when you are looking at the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, it definitely has to do with new creative opportunities as well. Now, when you're looking at it in those terms, And you look at the Nine of Pentacles, this to me is saying that you're thinking practically about it, which is good. It's either, you're using your free will and saying, I don't know, I know what works for me, and I've been through enough hardships to know that I can't just, jump and act on new creative ideas, right? Because I still get the feeling here with looking at the Devil and the Five of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords that you've been through some shit and you got yourself out of it. God damn it, you're not going back to it again. And it's just mental thinking. I don't feel like with the Devil in this deck that you're, chaining yourself to a bad relationship. It's more the thought, harmful thoughts, right? And it's not necessarily harmful either. It's just, I don't know, for some reason, when you're looking at these ones, the feeling immediately is saying that, hey, it's like the universe is saying to you that it understands that you've been through some shit, which is why resilience is showing up, right? You can bounce back from that. That's not an issue. But the problem is that you have to start living from your heart. Again, the meat suit is temporary. If you're not, making the most of new experiences coming through, then, you're just staying stuck with the same, I'm good. I'm good. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that either. I do get the feeling that for some of you, it's a situation too here where you're setting some higher standards, because I also feel like here, like you're wanting to hear it from the horse's mouth. I need to slow down so I can talk right. It's almost like you don't want to hear it from the other people. You want to hear it from the source. But I'm not seeing it, right? Now, it could definitely have to do with an air sign, but I think that's you. I really do, with the outcome coming out like this. The Queen of Swords, for me as a reader, shows up when somebody has been through extreme difficulties but has come out of it in a really, really good spot. I mean, between the two, yeah, I would say so. And I do think that when you're looking at the swords and you're looking at the Six of Swords as your best path to follow, it's saying you need to get out of that mental junk, right? But ultimately, it's going to be up to you. There's nothing wrong with setting high standards. But don't be too hard on yourself when you're seeking that perfection or being hard on others as well. Now, when you're looking at the sun, with this being in your environment, no matter what, Virgo, you're going to be just fine. I've always said that when the sun shows up, it's like you don't have nothing to worry about. You're going to be just fine. Nothing is going to negatively affect you, not with this being here, right? And I do think that these people are not trying to be devious. I really do think that that Devil is talking about you mentally because of what you've been through. Now, when you're looking at the relationship, I mean, really, I think this goes both ways, right? For those of you who are in a relationship and you are struggling, forgiving and learning is saying that you're getting past that and you're giving the relationship a chance. Now, for those of you who are single, it's getting over the hardships that you may have been through with past relationships and, needing to give maybe a new person a chance, right? But either way, I do like that this showed up because it's saying that, you're learning through the difficult things that you've been through within relationships, and it's changing you because resilience, you're bouncing back from it, right? But I do think, Virgo, that it's going to be important here for you to start living from your heart so that you can start seeing the magic in life, right? I can understand wanting to keep things the way they are, especially if you've been through a lot of hard crap. But I do think that, again, with the Ace of Cups and the Page, you're going to have to open up a little bit, right? Definitely take as much time as you need, though, and think about things. Right? Because this is all about seeking that enlightenment and needing to see everything, all perspectives. And I think you just need to hang out for a minute before you tie yourself to any specific way of thinking.